looks
There you
good.
go. Your hair looks
Yeah,
great.
thank
Mine,
you.
on the other hand. So Robbie owns a skydiving operation here in Nashville. He's also flown Part 91, Part 135, 91K.
All the goodies.
Yeah, all the good ones, yeah. So my first question is, since you've flown all of those and now you own a skydiving operation, which job has been the most challenging and why?
Oh man, yeah, I think every part of aviation has its challenges, whether that's types of aircraft you're flying or different parts and stuff, but primarily being a contractor pilot, a little bit more stress to make sure you're obeying everything and doing everything correctly, not only for safety reasons, but as we know, the pilot's responsible, so yeah, definitely get yourself in trouble there. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, different types where I've kind of ran into situations where you're flying different planes and you're not sure who owns it and all that, so you gotta make sure you do your due diligence. Yeah, but
Going over the maintenance logs, making sure that all the checks and balances check out.
yeah, I've got stories for days on that one, but yeah, yeah, but yeah, I'd say the most fun has been Part 91 stuff. Yeah, just individual owners looking to go somewhere, and yeah, less pressure, more fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds like it. What does owning a skydiving company actually look like behind the scenes that most people never see?
Yeah, I love being safe and I love going home. Yeah,
Everybody does.
yeah, skydiving is a great thing, but it's a dangerous thing done safely. And yeah, we like to be safe. So yeah, looking through that lens, the great part is watching all the pieces come together, making each of our staff members experts in what they do, whether that's being a pilot or a parachute rigger or a tandem instructor. Them being focused on that individual thing and being the safest expert in that field. So yeah.
Yeah. What was the biggest expense with starting a skydiving company?
Lawyers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You were showing me the liability waivers and everything, and
Yeah, it's
there's
a
a
lot.
lot of black and white and places you need to sign. You need
Absolutely.
to agree.
Yeah, lots of waivers. No, but our job sounds really unique. We had no one's ever done this close to a city before.
Yeah.
So having this great thing so close to such a great city took many years. Took us 8.5 years to get here. So from when I started the effort to achieve this, it took us quite a bit, the 8.5 years to get to this point where we're jumping. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's very cool. He was showing me the operation and then also like where they drop and where they land. It's literally right next to John C. Toon Airport. So it's very cool. And you were just telling me about like all the cool things that you can see
Yeah.
from.
Yeah, great thing. You can see downtown Nashville, Broadway, all the tourist spots. It's fantastic. But the potential for Nashville is massive. So when we bring a great thing, a great aviation business to an airport like John Toon, everybody wins. Yeah.
Yeah. What about hiring pilots and maintaining airplanes? Like, how difficult is it to keep up with that?
I think any business is difficult for hiring, right? But you want to always seek to hire the best people, not the best convenience. So
Yeah.
so we scrutinize very 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 hard on the pilots, and we make sure that we got the right crew. But flying skydivers is much different too. We're climbing aggressively, we're descending aggressively, we're doing all those things in a very tight parameter. So yeah, we want our instructors to feel like they got the best guy flying that plane. So yeah, a lot of training. We spend an average about 50 flight hours training each pilot.
Yeah, because what does the pilot have to do exactly? You climb up to a certain altitude, you drop them out, and then do they steep spiral all the way down, or do they have a different track?
No, the cleanest way and the best way for the aircraft to descend is straight ahead and level, and wings level and straight ahead. So we try to teach that as well. Is that if our crews, if our pilot's making a ascent in a box and descending in the same box, then that's good for us, and it's predictable. So. Yeah, we at the end of the day we overlay all of our tracks and and we sort of judge each other a little bit and be like, oh, you could have done this differently, you know.
It's a judgment-free judgment zone.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. It's good at the end of the day when everyone's worked together as a team, you know. So
Yeah.
it's a great thing.
How do you deal with things like weather cancellations?
Yeah. Weather, we try not to make the decision for weather until we have to, but we try to respect our customers' time, our clients' time, to make sure that they're not driving 3 hours and have to cancel. So we keep tedious notes on every customer, and if there's weather like today, we either know it's going to be bad all day or we'll have to delay a little bit. So
Yeah. I used to work as a receptionist at a flight school, and we would offer these like helicopter tours of like Louisville, and it'd be kind of like a date night type of thing.
Yeah.
And I always felt bad when I had to call them for weather cancellations because the helicopter pilot was like, we just can't go.
Absolutely.
So I always felt bad, and then like sometimes they would get a little angry, but then I would just try to explain like, hey, the weather's not good, it's not safe for you. Like, we just have to reschedule. And like,
absolutely.
Usually on the third reschedule, that's when they're like, all right, I just want my money back at this point. And then I would have to talk to the manager about that. But yeah.
Yeah, people sometimes take that as a sign they shouldn't be doing something. I'm like, no, actually, this is a great thing. We're just trying to make it as safe as possible. So
Yeah. You can still go out, you can still skydive, you can still have a ton of fun.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't jumped yet. You said my first time is going to be with you. So.
Yeah, we're pretty stoked for that. Yeah, you'll love it, and it's a great thing. Jumping over Nashville is incredibly special, and it's just a great picture. When you land, you're like, man, I just can't believe I did that.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so you've seen private flying, charter flying, and skydiving. What are the biggest differences between those three worlds, other than people jumping out of airplanes?
Yeah, naturally there's a ton of differences between each. I treat them in parallel the same. I respect the conditions of all of them, and I treat our Part 91 skydiving operation the same as I do when I'm flying 135. So parameters, checks, safety procedures, all that. So I have sort of a personal rule that if I treat everything to the highest level, then there's really no difference. You keep that operational tempo and safety in the same regard through everything. So
yeah. What's the craziest thing that's ever happened while flying skydivers?
Let's see. The crazy thing about flying skydivers, I don't know if I've ever had anything crazy happen while flying skydivers, but but there's certainly the customer's reaction is amazing to see everyone's different take on jumping out of the plane and stuff. So yeah, I think the one of the greatest things that is really special is watching every different person's way of handling stress of doing something when they leave.
Cortisol from the jump.
Yeah, for sure. So that's really special to see that. But no, we as far as I think our parameters on training and safety are so high. As far as anything crazy when jumping out, I haven't really seen anything like that. So yeah.
Anybody who got up into the plane and then they're like, no, absolutely not, I'm not jumping out.
Well, remember at that out with the door open, the noise no sounds like go. So, but no, there's been a few people. I think out of over 10,000 plus jumps, there's been a few that have been like, no, I don't want to go, and I'm like, no problem, we'll go to the ground. And you just paid for your airplane ride. So
Hey, that's still pretty cool. You're still getting your money's worth. Any engine issues, door opening problems?
No. We practice those things, So
prepare for any emergency.
Yeah, for sure. I've had an engine failure while flying a small Cessna before, and just had to put it down where I could, But you train for those things, we all train.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we train for those things. We best glide and make it happen, So yeah.
Always prepared.
Yeah.
If someone wanted to make aviation their career today, would you still recommend it?
Absolutely. Aviation's beautiful, and not just aviation like flying for the airlines, but there's
doing it in general.
Absolutely. There's so many different parts of aviation, and I love flying. I love flying citations, but man, if I don't like being on the ground and jumping out of an airplane and and doing that part, but I love general aviation, and it's really special, So I would highly recommend it. I grew up my mom was in the military. I grew up on a military base in Kansas, and I saw these little airplanes flying around, and I had the courage to go talk to a guy one day and said, I want to fly in a plane, and he took me up, and it changed my life. And from there, I was always looking at airplanes, just like probably your story as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I always wanted to be a pilot, and I spent quite a bit of time in the Marine Corps and in the back of helicopters and stuff. So I always wanted to be a pilot. So I decided to get out of the Marine Corps and become a pilot. So.
Nice. Yeah. Did the GI Bill help pay for that a little bit?
Great question. I actually did not use a GI Bill. I paid for everything through some hard work. So.
Nice.
Yeah. So worked really hard. Ate ramen for a few years to be able to afford everything.
Oh my gosh, same here.
Yeah.
The college diet. You got to go on it for a while, especially in the training stages.
Absolutely. Yeah. So no, I still have my GI Bill. But yeah. So paid for everything part 61. And.
Yeah.
Did everything that way, so it was really good.
Is there anything you would do differently the second time around?
As far as like the career path, or like flying in general, or?
I would say flying in general, yeah.
Yeah, no, I think we in flying we make the best decisions that we know how to make at the time, and
yeah.
So sort of living in that past. No, but I certainly I think this is Dixon here. Is that right? No, I think if I were to do it again, I would probably go start my pilot training earlier, But yeah, being in the Marine Corps, your focus is on being a Marine and doing your job really well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I would do differently, if I were to go back, I would get my first class medical first.
Okay.
And then I would get all of the ground school out of the way,
Yeah.
my written done, and then start flight training. Because my flight training was so start, stop, because I was spending money and then I didn't have any money, and then spending money and then I didn't have any money.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where my maneuvers and everything are check ride ready, but my knowledge wasn't check ride ready. So then I had to stop again, and then that just kept increasing the amount of money that I was spending. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Do it in 4 steps. First class medical, ground school, written, and start flight training.
Yeah, that's a great thing to consider. Yeah, I didn't even know the importance of a medical when I went and got it. The military,
Yeah.
It's all military medicals and stuff. But yeah, so I kind of paid for that later, of going from second class to first class, all the paperwork you got to do and stuff like that. But yeah.
So what was your first job in aviation?
First job in aviation, flying skydivers.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you started out flying skydivers. That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Full circle.
yeah, I mean, I had probably like 8 or 9,000 jumps by the time I started flying skydivers, and it was kind of a cool picture. But yeah.
Very, very cool. So you went from jumping out of planes to flying jumpers.
Now I do both.
Yeah.
Whatever's needed. Yeah.
What's the biggest mistake young pilots make?
Yeah, I think chasing the carrot. They I think a lot of young pilots have this career track towards the airlines, and the world is so much more open besides the airlines. So I would say find the reason that really makes you happy, and do that. And I would say if you're chasing money, you're chasing the wrong thing. Any pilot can make a lot of money, but if your focus is just to make a ton of money, I mean, think what else you're losing by focusing on money. You're losing your personality, you're losing your social life, seeing a lot of things. But yeah, I feel like I wish people would explore aviation more than just going, I want to be an airline pilot.
Chase your passion and the money will find you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love skydiving, and now we get to do it for a living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So charter flying can be demanding. What's something people don't realize about flying professionally?
Yeah, it's work schedule. The work-life balance is pretty significant with charter flying. So, any one of the big carriers, like NetJets or FlexJet or whatever, any other charter stuff, Tradewinds, they all have their schedule of this much on, this much off. So, So you're very much surrounded by that schedule. A lot of pressure to do that. I'd rather be at home doing what I want to do, you know. And so,
Yeah.
yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, you don't really get to decide where you go fly, like when you're working for charter. So.
No, I mean it's cool. You get to see a lot, but
Yeah.
you know, I'd rather hang out with my friends and family, and yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you probably watch hundreds of pilots come through your operation. What separates the pilots who succeed from the ones who struggle?
Yeah, confidence. I'm attracted to confidence, and I feel like if I have a confident pilot, they're going to take care of my team as well, and we got 4 lives in our plane other than the pilot. So I really focus on their experience, and I think it's comical that people put on their resume no accidents or incidents. I'm like, great, but show me what you do when you're stressed. Like who are you when you're squeezed a little bit? So so that's I try to find people say like, oh, this happened to me. I'm like, oh, tell me more. I'm curious. So. Yeah, it's a great thing to have some stressful experiences in life,
Yeah.
So,
Plus, those are like the best stories ever. Like I love hearing like crazy, weird stories about different situations you put yourself in.
Yeah. So I think I find pilots who are confident in their abilities and approach me in confidence. It's easier to say yes to those pilots to bring them on for that significant amount of investment that we have to put into them. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you said earlier that you tend to look for like CFIs as well.
I look for CFIs for the purpose of knowledge how to learn. But sometimes there's some CFIs for sure where they approach the position. I'm like, there's no way I'm hiring you, man. They're so used to being cyclic in their training that they're not open to learning a new way of doing something, So
Yeah, kind of like stuck in their ways.
Yeah.
Not open to, what's the word? Being flexible.
Yeah, being receptive is, I think I've heard it before. It's attitude is skill is trainable, attitude is permanent. So so if you have someone with a great attitude, that's really inspiring to bring them on. But they can learn that skill later.
Yeah. If someone came to you tomorrow with fresh ratings, what would they have to do to earn a job with you?
Yeah, mostly that's an answer for insurance. Our insurance.
Fair.
Yeah, they require 500 minimum, which is higher than most, but 500 minimum and 25 in type for 182. So which is higher than most minimums for 182 flying.
I got some 182 time. I think I got 50 hours.
Yeah, that's great. You can
Awesome.
you can come on board. So. It's a cool picture, but yeah, we just don't, our insurance at that minimum, we just, give them the Roger up and say, okay, but we can start training our pilots at like 450 hours, at that point. So so that's what we look for there is the minimum time. But and you look at it in the grand scheme, 500 hours is not a lot of time, So I'm 6,000 plus hours now, and I look at 500, I'm like, yeah, that's chump change, rookie numbers, got to get those rookie numbers up.
I'm trying to get my numbers up. That's why I'm doing this whole podcast. I've gone to some very cool places, gotten some really good experience dealing with different weather, different regions.
Yeah.
So definitely learning a lot. I'm always up for learning. I feel like as a pilot, you're a student for life. Like that's what you sign up for as soon as you get handed that license.
Absolutely. Yeah, I tend to say, just because you can doesn't mean you should on things too, and like. Flying through different types of weather and stuff, like cool, just because your plane's IFR doesn't mean you should do it, so,
yeah. I know, these are tiny planes, they can't take a whole lot, not like those like big 737s.
Sure.
They can fly through a lot of things, but they have their own rules and regulations they gotta abide by too.
Absolutely.
What's one aviation lesson that completely changed the way you fly?
Aviation lesson. I guess I can call this lesson, but just flying through some really, really hard weather has changed my perspective on flying through hard stuff, especially single pilot stuff. If you're flying as a crew, that certainly didn't change your attitude a little bit, but single pilot flying through really hard IFR can be very challenging at times, especially in busy places like
Nashville.
Nashville's kind of easy. Yeah, not bad, but
It's busy today because there was just a country music concert. But
yeah, for sure. But flying to 200 minimums, icing in LaGuardia, a single pilot is definitely not my cup of tea.
That sounds scary.
Yeah, so I've done that a few times. I'm like, yeah, we're not doing that again. Or even Philly. Philly can be a tough one, So very, very busy spots. But yeah, so I generally, find myself saying no to more things these days, not because you can't, but because something like the Dunning-Kruger effect a bit. You kind of know, you know what you know now, So yeah.
You don't know what you don't know until you don't know it, and you really need to know it.
Sure. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Okay, looking back over your career, what's the one story you'll still be telling 30 years from now?
I was when I was in the military, I was past my halfway point to retirement, and I decided to get out of the Marines. And there are certainly days where I wonder if that was the right thing to do. But I look at the life that I have and that I've created, and everyone has to get out of the military at some point, whether it's when you retire or earlier than that. But I'm so glad that I did it, and I'm so glad I decided to chase that dream of becoming a pilot. And I'm the first pilot in my family's lineage. We come from some really weird trailer backgrounds, So I'm really, really glad that I did that. And when I look forward to that, and people ask, I certainly will tell them that it's absolutely worth it to pursue your passion. And quit that job, change that city, sell those things you don't need, go do that thing. You won't be sorry. But we also, on a daily pattern, we live this. With skydiving, we're telling people that your life is about to change, whether you know it or not. You'll never look the same. You'll never feel the same. Enjoy this moment.
Yeah.
And it's really great.
Isn't there like a term for that, like skydiving blues or something like that, where like after you go jumping for the first time, like you kind of like experience, I don't want to say depression, but like a period of sadness where like it's just like not the same?
I think it's not the same because you didn't know what it was going to be like,
Yeah.
That it is incredibly special and an amazing thing to do, and thank goodness you did it, as life is really short,
Do the thing.
Yeah, you've probably heard this saying or this quote before, but death will come on an ordinary day. It'll be when you had plans for dinner, when you had things to do this weekend, etc., and it will come. And that'll be really crummy if you were sorry that you didn't do something that you really wanted to do. So yeah.
I've always really loved the Latin phrase "memento mori," which is kind of like seize the day, because
sure,
at any moment you can die.
Absolutely. I have a tattoo on my foot. It says, "Remember, you will die." It's on the top of my foot, and good conversation piece, but I love it. And life is challenging and hard and expensive and all the things, and but look, when you remember that you're going, that dinner tastes a little better, and those moments are really cool because that's all we take with us is those memories. And I think
might as well make some.
Yeah, I think we're here to have that great time.
Yeah.
We're here to feel that affection, to feel what it's like to be in love, to jump out of that airplane. Look at what we're doing.
Yeah, I know.
We're having a podcast in an airplane. Welcome to America. This is a really cool thing that we get to do.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, what is the closest you've ever come to saying that's not the day to fly? I'm guessing those LaGuardia approaches.
There's been times where I'm like, man, I can't wait to get on the ground. But there's been times up in upper New England, New York and stuff where I'm like, yeah, it's just we're not doing this, and you really, they train this, right? They train this in pilots. Like, you got to listen to your gut, and you got to listen to what it means to say no, and that sometimes that pressure to fly, whether it be a client pressuring you or whatever it may be, or you pressuring yourself, is certainly the wrong answer, But there's been times where just a huge line of storms coming, and the client needs to get off and get out of there. I've I've lost clients as a contractor pilot. I've lost clients for saying no. I've been fired for saying no because someone needed to get there, and I said no, I'm not taking you on this day. Those are the wrong people to work for, So, yeah, but that's not normal, usual to me. That's across the board of being a contractor pilot. Is you make the decision, and as young pilots, as me, all that, we're making those decisions every day.
Yeah. Yeah. You hear of a lot of CEOs dying nowadays. I wonder why.
Yeah, I mean aviation's dangerous, So, but we do something dangerous in a safe manner. So yeah.
Yeah, dangerous in a safe manner. I like that. Okay, what's the funniest customer request you've ever gotten?
Can I jump with this bear suit on?
Oh my gosh. Can I jump in a unicorn onesie?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else I can do.
You sure can.
Cheerleader outfit?
That one, naked, So.
Oh my gosh, somebody did ask that?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We've had plenty. We don't really do that here at our drop zone. We're in a city, but
yeah.
I jump in the middle of the Vegas desert, where we're like, man, whatever, But
you do you.
Yeah, for sure. We try to change the vision and the perception of what skydiving is, and if you do that at your place, you're probably not going to get the best perception, So, yeah.
How has owning a business changed your perspective on aviation?
Yeah, I've owned and still own multiple businesses, and aviation business is hard, where maintenance, tires and fuel, all those things, right? But
oh my gosh,
yeah, but it's great. It's again the perspective of we get to do a cool thing, and don't cry over spilled milk if you ask to be covered in it, So
yeah.
Yeah.
I dry my tears with my maintenance invoices.
That's right. You did that again for me. Yeah. Yeah, it's a really special thing, but it's I think it's taught me some more patience, and like, hey, it's gonna be okay. And there's been times where but I'm always looking at our planes and making sure we're making the right decision for everything, and just have a heavy level of scrutiny over our airplanes all the time.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
If money wasn't a factor, what airplane would you own?
Oh.
The Osprey?
Yeah. Tilt. Yeah. So I would. My question for you was would that be a helicopter or airplane?
It doesn't matter, whichever one.
Man,
helicopters are more expensive though. So.
Yeah. I really like the CJ4, but
okay.
I think the PC12 is incredibly sexy.
PC12, yeah.
Yeah.
And it can do a whole lot.
It can do a ton.
Yeah.
It can do a ton. Yeah. So, I had the opportunity to jump out of another country's PC12 that had an electronic roll-up door on it, which was really cool.
Yeah.
So that big door in the back, they'd taken that off and put a different door. That was really neat.
That's cool.
But so PC12 is a cool plane. Can go anywhere. Can fly as slow as you want. So
yeah.
I'd say the PC12 is a cool. If that's final answer, it's like.
Yeah, I'd want the Falcon with the 3 engines.
Oh yeah.
It has 3 engines.
Yeah, for sure. That's a cool looking plane.
Oh yeah. What's one FAA regulation you think people misunderstand?
Yeah, I on charter stuff. I think people get confused about what they can and can't do, and they sort of duck and weave and hide behind other rules and stuff. I think the rules are very clear, of what you can and can't do, and they're there for a reason. But I would say the rules for commercial flying, for holding out charter and stuff like that. Like some people view it through the lens of what can I do with these rules versus, hey, this is saying what you can't do,
Yeah.
But obey the rules. Yeah, they're there for a reason. Yeah.
Yeah, regulations are there for a reason. All right, let's hop into the rapid fire.
Yep.
Tail wheel or tricycle?
Ooh, tail wheel.
Oh yeah, all right.
Sorry, I don't even have a tailwheel rating. So, but they're just
They're
just
cool.
way cool.
It's
They're
so
way
fun
cool.
watching them
Yeah.
pop off on the
Yeah.
ground. Turbine or piston?
Turbine.
All right. Favorite airport you've landed at?
Ooh. Bahamas.
Bahamas.
Grand
Okay,
Bahamas.
where'd you land at the Bahamas?
Grand Bahama there.
Okay.
Yeah.
We went to Green Turtle Cay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And this?
in this.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, what a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of forms to fill out, you know,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Yeah.
Only 4. Very fun. Only 4. Only 3
Oh,
for
yeah,
4.
for sure.
Most underrated airplane.
Oh man, the most underrated airplane. The Cessna 182. It's got so much capability, and you can do a lot with it. You can modify it, you know, all that. But yeah, the 182 is excellent.
I was gonna say the 182 too, because I've flown it a couple of times, and it was like the best cross-country plane.
It's great.
Yeah.
And newer 182s are just they're so nice. Yeah.
One piece of advice every pilot should hear.
Listen to two part on that. Listen to what you want to do in life, and when you're flying, listen to your gut. It's telling you something.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. If you shouldn't do this, you know, if you're not comfortable, take someone with you. If they're not comfortable, don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey guys, thanks for watching another episode of Conversations in the Cockpit. Make sure that you like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, comment, any way you guys want to engage, so that we can continue these conversations. Anyways, I hope you like this episode. See ya!